Hello. Hey Moonies, welcome back. Thanks for being here. It is Moon Day and I gotta say, this episode took me on a journey, took me on a ride. This is SMC 34, Act 33, Infinity 7, Transformation, Super Sailor Moon. I think a few words that come to mind for this episode has to be powerful, chills, emotion, because it was all of those things. There is so much being put into every episode now, and this episode was no exception to that, and it was phenomenal the way they do this. It flows so well, and I just once again have to give so many props to all involved for making these episodes, because there is truly so much care and effort and time put into each episode, and it truly shows. And as a fan for over 20 years, I appreciate that to no end. I love it to the moon and back. So let's get into this episode. I love that we get kind of the recap of the last minute or two of the previous episode, and I have to say it was just as good the second time around. The Holy Grail appearing is just fabulous. And it really makes me seriously want the Holy Grail Proplica even more. I do have to say, I really do like the ending part of the opening song. I think that's the one part that I enjoy. As a whole, still growing on me, but I really do like that ending part. I really liked when her power broke everyone's mind control in her transformation of Super Sailor Moon. I literally just got chills all over. And in that moment, it was kind of like, your queen has arrived. Wake up, snap out of it, guys. And I love when the three talismans started, reacting and, to her powers and, giving their powers to her, and the lights and the emotion of just that whole scene were just so enthralling. I loved it. And of course, Super Sailor Moon's transformation I thought was done beautifully. Again, it was this goosebump moment. Absolutely beautiful. I love Chibiusa remembering her mom telling her about Super Sailor Moon in the future in her little flashback. So she kind of knew what was going on. And just the look of Super Sailor Moon, it was just so very cute. I also liked it when they flashed to Kaori Knight saying, Sailor Moon has powered up. And Dr. Tomo being shocked by Super Sailor Moon's power. And Hotaru, of course, we see, a preview of her dark side that she struggled so long to keep locked away. And then we see the Rainbow Moon heart attack, heartache attack, excuse me. That was pretty cool, pretty well done, I have to say. And bye-bye to Supreme and Patoli, or however you say her name, and the Witches 5 are officially kaput. I kind of like where we got that inner moment with the Outer Senshi where, Uranus is, they're all confused about their power, their talisman's power being so quickly to go to Super Sailor Moon. But I like that moment when Uranus is like, I thought these were the keys to awakening her. And Neptune's like, hush, like, don't say anything. Then you see Neptune have a moment with her mirror, and she's like, okay, well, I think the talismans want us to tell Super Sailor Moon what's going on here. I also, kind of side note, I like that little moment when they go back to Neptune and Uranus's apartment, and they kind of show that human side of Uranus, or Haruka, and she's like, I'm worried about the bill and all this damage the Supreme caused to their apartment. I kind of like that moment. And I really liked the story that Neptune was telling Super Sailor Moon and everyone about the last time that their talismans were activated, and that was the fall of the Silver Millennium. And that whole moment was just it was so emotional, and Sailor Moon being comforted by Tux, it was heartbreakingly beautiful. Another one of those moments. But then they told them what they did in Awakening Sailor Saturn, the one Senshi that should never be awakened. And again, it was just chills, overall chills, such a good moment. Listening to Neptune was really enthralling, heartbreaking, and honestly perfect, though, in my opinion. Seeing Chibiusa's face at the news that her friend being the, the guardian of ruin, as Neptune called it, was so sad. And then Neptune telling the story to them was just overall fantastic, in my opinion. I mean, just, it was just one of those, like, oh my gosh, it's so hard to hear, but, Neptune, it's just so enthralling, it's so beautiful. Like I said, it was just perfect, I think. And it just was like a little thing, but I really personally liked that Uranus mentions how you all know that the future exists, so we must not let Saturn awaken. It was just like, okay, so you're kind of giving them hope, And it was interesting because, of course, we were all expecting Sailor Moon and company to be like, no, we're not going to kill Hotaru. There's got to be another way. And for that split second, I kind of felt like Sailor Moon just really didn't get the severity of the situation as a whole. But, and because they always want to believe there's another way. And then in that moment when they flashed to Chibiusa, I kind of felt, with the look that the illustrator gave her, I kind of felt like she understood the severity of the situation despite not liking it. But just a split nanosecond there. I like that we got the explanation of what happened to Hotaru as a child and her father kind of going mad and rebuilding her body, and it's basically an artificial body. I like that they really kind of delved into that. It wasn't so deep, but it was enough to understand, much more than they did on OSM for sure. And then, the definite line in the sand is drawn between the outer and the inner Senshi, because they're both standing on two different sides of the issue. Obviously, the outer Senshi does not care if the inner Senshi hates them, for they have a mission, and that is to save the world. Simple as that, It was a definite mic drop moment. Then you see Chibiusa running to save Hotaru. Consequences be damned. She believes that there is another way, and she won't let the outer Senshi hurt her, because the outer Senshi has said, we will kill her because we cannot let her awaken. So you see Chibi Moon get to Hotaru's house, and she sees Hotaru passed out, and then before you know it, Hotaru's awakening, and she's transforming to Mistress Nine, and her hair like grabs Chibiusa, and of course, Tux tries to save her, and that didn't work. Then you see Mistress Nine's like arm hair thing like grabbing Chibiusa's brooch, and it breaks Chibi Moon's transformation, and you see her pass out as Tux grabs her, and Sailor Moon's brooch protects them from Mistress Nine's attack. And it's just so much going on, And you see Mistress Nine, boasting, oh, Master Pharaoh 90, I finally have the silver crystal. And then Tux and Super Sailor Moon realize that Chibiusa is not breathing, and it ends. And I have to say, the end song once again helps me remember to breathe, because it's so much going on, so much intensity. It's just like, okay, I need the ending song just to like catch my breath, and because there's so much going on and so much happening. So it's done beautifully. It's overwhelmingly awesome, truly. But there's just so much going on in these little 20 minute plus episodes. And again, they do it so gorgeously. And as much is happening on this episode, I have to say, I think this is just, the beginning for the craziness that we're going to encounter on the next episode, SMC 35, Act 34, Infinity 8, Infinite Labyrinth 1. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe. Until next time, Moonies, have a great moon day.